Yeah, I haven't done too much of romance. Maybe I should do that also. Maybe a love story, intense love story would be a great idea. I loved portraying that power on screen. I'm not subjected only to one space or one genre. The training was different. I was eating a lot.
Hi, I am Mark Manuel getting into conversation with Rajkummar Rao, who has an action thriller,
Yes.
your first one,
My first, yes.
coming out on July 11th.
Yes.
I saw the trailer. It is in parts brutal. And I'm very sure a lot of your fans will wonder, is this really you?
It is me.
It is you.
Yes.
You've played a number of intriguing and very, very memorable characters in your 15-year career. Would you want them to remember you by this role in particular?
Well, not only by this role. I think I would want them to remember me as an actor who has done a variety of roles and
Yeah.
has a really good filmography. But of course, I want Maalik to be right up there because it's a character that I thoroughly enjoyed playing. It's my first, of course, in this space, but I loved portraying that power on screen that Maalik carries throughout the film.
Okay.
And of course, the action sequences, they are very brutal. They are, of course, larger than life, also very stylized, but very real in nature. Something that you believe when you see it on screen. It's not like you're like कि ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. ये तो फिल्मों में होता है. No, ऐसा जिंदगी में होता है.
You said that ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. That is a very stylized action
Yeah,
that
yeah.
gangster movies today have.
Yeah.
You know, where the hero is suave, he has a lot of swag.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gadgetry, car bike chases, aerial sequences, fights in foreign countries that almost border on war. This is not like that way.
No, this is a heartland story.
Heartland.
Yeah, it's totally heartland. It's very rooted. It's very raw. The action. I think that's what makes it also very different from other action films that we have seen. Of course, it's also got a lot of swag, a lot of style, larger than life, dialogue bazi, everything is there. But the basic root, the basic rawness is very much there. That we never leave.
Okay. A lot of your characters come from, you know, the rural Hindi belt areas, and you play them very well. Great, great flair. Now, do you get into those kind of characters, or do the filmmakers come to you because, you know, you slip into the skin of these people so easily?
Well, they come to with a lot of things actually. It's not like I'm only offered these heartland characters. I love playing them, no doubt. Because I'm from one of them. I'm like one of them. And I believe our country also, most of our population, they live in these heartlands. They live in these small towns. And they come from that background, which is a very middle class background. So I love telling them their own stories through my films. But whatever, there are few films that I'm doing next, which are not about heartland stories, which is more than that. And there, of course, there was Shrikant in between. There was Mahi, which is a drama. This Dada's biopic, which will happen next year. So variety of very exciting work that is happening now, which is not only, I'm not subjected only to one space or one genre.
But for the longest period, you have done those kind of roles that have been rather uncharitably described in the media as being small town boy trapped in, you know, rom-com harrowing situations. So did you seize upon Maalik because it was an escape from that, or you genuinely wanted to get into action?
No, it was not an escape from anything. I think that is something because in last 1 year I had Stree 2, I had Vicky Vidya and Bhool Chuk Maaf, which is, these three are in a way like of course Stree 2 was a horror comedy, but these other two were like small town comedies. So that's why maybe, because in between, this is also, as I said, Shrikant also came, which is a biopic about a visually impaired person, a very aspirational story, did well. There's Mr. and Mrs. Mahi, which is a relationship drama. So there's work happening, different kind of work happening, because in this 1 year these three films came, maybe that's the reason people started thinking, oh, he's doing small town comedies only, but I'm not. Maalik, I didn't do because I wanted to get out of any image, to be honest. It's not like for the first time somebody offered me an action film. It was offered to me earlier, but I couldn't connect with those stories. I thought a good story was missing in those scripts. But Maalik had a very powerful story. It had as I said, it was very raw, it was very rugged. I loved the journey of this character from being this really helpless guy and to becoming this rebel and to becoming this Maalik. So I love the journey of the arc of the character in this story. And then Pulkit, he is such a fine filmmaker. We did Bose together before this. He's a dear friend, and he's extremely passionate about it. He knows this world really well. So it was a lot of fun. That was the only reason for me to do this film, because I loved the story a lot.
You mentioned Stree 2 twice in our conversation just now. It came at a very, very critical juncture in your career when your films are not doing really commercially well, but they were all critically acclaimed. Okay, the critics loved your role and your characterization. But what did Stree 2 do for you at that point of time?
Stree 2, of course, is it's the highest grossing original Hindi language film ever till date. So it gives you a lot of happiness more than anything else, that the film that you believed in when we were doing Stree 1, it was a really small film about a very, very small town called Chanderi, and this guy Vicky was a tailor there. Nobody expected for it to do so well, even part 1. When part 2 broke all the records, that was like, of course, we were very happily shocked that it did such a number. We knew that would do well because there was a lot of excitement. The fans were waiting for it to come, but for it to do this number was an achievement for the film itself. So of course, it made me very, very happy. But also, I'm very practical. I know that it's not like now Stree 2 has done this number, that every film of mine would hit this number.
Okay, that's honest.
Yeah, of course. It totally depends on the film, the kind of budget you have for the film, the kind of story you're presenting. Stree had that in its favor, that it's a horror comedy, and part 1 got so much of love that's the reason part 2 did so well. Okay. But I'm very practical that way. I know that a Shrikant won't be like this humongous success like Stree, but would it be a success? Yes. Was it a success? Yes, it would be a successful film. It would find its audience.
It was a well-liked film.
It was a very well-liked film. So yeah, I'm very practical that way. But I don't want to stop myself, limit myself, that I'm going to wait only for those films that might have the chances of being so big, because nobody knows, what's going to work at the box office. So I don't want to limit myself just waiting for those stories. Otherwise, how would I do Shrikant? How would I do a Maalik?
You're looking very toned, very fit, very compact. I understand you put in a certain amount of work to get into the physical part of this role.
Yeah.
What was it different from? You also trained for your role as a cop in Badai Ho?
Badai Do.
Yeah. You trained for a cop there.
Yeah.
Was this training different from that?
It was different because in Badai Do, my character was somebody who was training for Mr. India. So they had to be, it was not about being bulked up and being very beefy. This one, the training was different. I was eating a lot. I wanted to gain a lot of weight. I wanted to be very strong. So I beefed up for this film because just for myself, I wanted to have a very different physicality for this film. That's the reason I grew my beard and hair for a couple of months, and then I hit it in the gym for almost 2 hours every day, because you feel different when you're in a certain shape. There's a different feeling that you have when you walk. Your walk would change. A lot of things would change. That's the reason I
talk. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You feeling good about how you look now?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You've played the cop in, I think, 4 films totally.
Okay,
Shaitan, Badai Do, Hit, and Bead.
Yeah.
Yeah? 4. There's a good cop role in this movie too, played by Prosenjit.
Yeah.
Were you not attracted to it?
No, not at all.
The gangster was better.
Yeah. No, I was happy playing Maalik because Maalik is what was offered to me. Of course, the cops part is also a very fascinating part, and Bumbada has done a great job in the film with this part. But I was offered Maalik, and I was happy playing Maalik. But again, like as I asked you, okay, I didn't know, because I don't count how many cop parts I've done. But again, if there's another exciting story about a cop, then it's not like I would be double-minded about it because, maybe I've done it 4 times. If it's a different story, if it's a different world and a different kind of a cop, then why not? Yeah.
I certainly hope you do that, because there's an actor who has influenced you and who I greatly admire, Manoj Bajpayee.
Yeah.
he keeps doing the gangster and the
Yeah,
cop
yeah,
and the
yeah,
cop and the
yeah.
gangster.
Yeah.
So would you also be comfortable going down that road?
No, I would also play Dada in between. I would become
You will be.
Shaurabda in between. I would play Shrikant also in between. So I want to do everything. I want to just keep exploring, keep challenging myself as an actor.
Going by the genre of movies you've done, what is the most challenging character for you, the role? Is it like now you're doing action?
Yeah.
But is it action? Is it comedy? There's a bit of romance also in your film.
Yeah.
So what comes?
I
what
haven't
is the
actually, I haven't done too much of romance. Maybe I should do that also. Maybe a love story, intense love story would be a great idea. But what's challenging, of course, action demands a lot of physicality.
It does.
So yeah, so physically it is very challenging when you do an action film. But for me also, it's the internal process is equally important. So I also love doing Trapped or Newton or Badhai Do, which is also about the internal process, the internal complexities of that character which you're portraying. Yeah.
Thank you, Rajkumar, for this. I'm looking forward to the movie.
Thank you, Mark, sir.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.